Assalamu alaikum. I'm Ahmed Junaid and I welcome you to today's episode of Trade Talks, the PSW podcast, where we will explore the dynamic partnerships between PSW and the private sector. Today, we'll be discussing how these collaborations help enhance cross-border trade and digital transformation in Pakistan. Today, we are joined by Faisal Butt, who works as the private sector specialist. He is leading PSW's private sector's collaborations to promote and enable trade-related value-added services. Sir, a very warm welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So, Faisal, can you tell us how PSW envisions its relationship with the private sector?
So PSW collaborating with the private sector is at the heart of a strategy to fulfill the mandate set out by the government. It also allows us to pursue our vision of achieving excellence in cross-border trade. Let me start by giving a few examples of how PSW is collaborating with the private sector to support our core business. PSW has partnered with pre-shipment inspection companies from the private sector for electronic handling of inspection documents mandated by different government agencies. To augment its software development capacity, PSW collaborates with local software developers. PSW has also partnered with 29 commercial banks, whereby we've introduced an electronic system that directly links financial instruments to cross-border trade consignments, thereby eliminating the need for traders to physically visit banks for import and export documentation. These collaborations with the private sector are crucial in helping PSW to streamline and improve its service delivery to its users.
Faisal, you just mentioned that private sector is helping PSW to achieve its ambitions of excellence in cross-border trade. Can you please explain what these ambitions are and how the private sector is enabling it?
Our goal at PSW goes beyond the conventional scope of national single windows, which typically involves digitizing declarations and government compliances. We are striving to digitize the entire cross-border trade ecosystem by collaborating with private sector entities that provide cross-border trade-related services such as trade finance, logistics, data analytics, and others. We truly believe that the private sector is the key in helping PSW to achieve its ambitions of achieving excellence in cross-border trade, one, and also in digitizing the entire cross-border trade ecosystem. All of these efforts should eventually help in increasing Pakistan's trade competitiveness.
Faisal, this sounds very interesting, but can you give me an example of a collaboration between PSW and a private player?
Certainly, Ahmed. In fact, just last month, PSW launched its first collaboration with a private sector fintech company called Fintech Transformation Services Limited, FTSL. Through this collaboration, we're enhancing the capability of commercial banks to comply with the State Bank of Pakistan's trade-based money laundering regulations. So through this collaboration, FTSL is utilizing the vast repository of cross-border trade data that PSW has and offering advanced trade data analytics to commercial banks. These advanced trade data analytics allow banks to perform price verification of international contracts. This should also, at the end of the day, help to improve the transparency and integrity of supply chains in Pakistan. We're currently working on several projects with local and international organizations that will offer traders in Pakistan digital access to valuable services. We believe these will enhance the trade competitiveness of the country.
That's exciting news. It is great to see PSW collaborating with the private sector. But for our viewers, would you like to tell what kind of companies is PSW entrusted to work with?
Any private sector company involved in cross-border trade that has a good product, that adds value, is a candidate for collaboration with PSW.
That's great, Faisal, and thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure.
Thank you, viewers, for joining us today. Stay tuned for another episode of Trade Talks, the PSW's podcast.